Hello, and welcome back to the Misty Morrison podcast. I'm your host, Misty Morrison, and this is episode 21 of Was I in the Wrong? Before we get into the stories for today, just a reminder to engage with the content. If you are listening on podcast, please leave a 5-star review. If you are watching on YouTube, comment, like, or share the video. Subscribe for more. And if you are on socials, go ahead and comment with your thoughts on the stories as well. All right, into our stories. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/AITA_relationships. AITA, 2 months of texting and 1 FICA. Not sure if she sees this as friendship or something more. Hi everyone, I'm a master's student living in Sweden, and I've been texting with a girl for about 2 months. We first met casually on campus while I was having lunch. I felt a nice energy from her, so I initiated a conversation. We exchanged Instagram, kept texting, and ran into each other a few times at events. She's an introvert. She's mentioned this herself, and I'm more social and outgoing. Our texting rhythm has varied. Sometimes she responds quickly, other times it takes a day or more. We've shared light banter, talked about food, culture, personal stories, and even sent memes. It feels emotionally open, but not flirty. Eventually, I asked her for FICA, coffee meetup. She agreed and even suggested a date. The FICA went well. We talked about studies, our backgrounds, and life in Sweden. After that, we went for a spontaneous walk, which lasted nearly 30 minutes. We had some laughs and good conversation, but I didn't make any physical move, no hand touch or hug goodbye, mostly because I didn't want to risk making her uncomfortable. Since then, we've still been texting, but again at her usual slow pace. I sent a lighthearted message about cooking together, her teaching me how to make pierogi? I hope I said that right. Pierogi, and haven't received a reply in 20 plus hours. Now I'm overthinking everything. I feel like I might be heading into the friend zone, but I also don't want to push. I genuinely enjoy talking to her, but I also want to know if there's any potential for attraction or relationship, not just friendly vibes. I'm not originally from Sweden, so I'm trying to navigate all this across cultural and communication differences. I'd really appreciate any thoughts or advice from those who've dated introverts, navigated slow burn conversations, or just have a clearer radar than I do. Am I being too patient, too nice, too slow? Is this worth continuing, or should I pull back? Thanks for reading. I'm open to all perspectives. Let's see. So this was posted 8 days ago, and it has 4 upvotes and only 1 comment. Let's see. My advice, before I read the comment, my advice is it seems from the way you've written this that you are hoping this turns into more, like you want a relationship with her. I think you're the only one telling yourself no if you pull back before you've ever pushed forward. And not saying to be too forward, as there is that cultural and communication boundary, but just say it out loud. Just ask her. I just want to know, because I've kind of felt like I've got mixed messages. Are we just friends? Or is there a potential, for a date, for us to be something more than just friends? And, that's not pushy. That's just open communication, which could be good. Yeah. The best advice I ever got is if you never ask the question, the only person telling you no is yourself. So if you're interested in dating her, if you want a relationship, just ask her if she is attracted to you. Ask her if she wants to go on dates with you. Just ask. I don't think asking can be perceived as pushy, as long as if she says no, you just take the no. You accept the no, you don't push past that, because that's when you get pushy. So let's read the only comment. It says, "The only thing I can suggest is keeping with the friendship. Different people have different energies towards someone they're interested in. I've known people to be really bad at texting. Just make it up as you go along, but don't put all your eggs in one basket." I mean, that didn't really seem like an option to just keep the friendship. It sounded like you either wanted to move forward or pull back. So I think the only way to know if you have a chance is to move forward, ask her the question outright, and then you have your answer. So, OP, the question was AITA for 2 months of texting and not sure if she sees this as a friendship or something more. No, you're not the asshole. I would probably just call this one a mess because clearly you're both, even taking all communication barriers into account, it doesn't seem like either of you are good communicators. So, story number 2 is coming to us from r/AITA_WIBTA_public. Boyfriend found an old photo of a guy with his head on my chest. Now he says I micro-cheated before we were even together. That's weird. I am a 24 female and my boyfriend is 25 male. Have been in a relationship for over a year. Recently, he was going through my gallery and found a pic of a guy with me. He had his head on my chest. He was a friend, but to the best of my knowledge, neither of us had any intentions or interest in one another. Of course, I can't speak for him fully. I wasn't even aware that I had this pic. I genuinely didn't think anything of it. He deleted the pic as soon as he saw it and deleted it from recently deleted folder. Just for context, the date on the picture was a little over a month before we became official. He got upset but dismissed the matter. Days later, he brought it up again, and I explained that I didn't have any intentions of being with this guy. I apologized, saying it was wrong, and it's not right for someone to have access to me like that, especially someone I have no intentions of being intimate with. I'm generally a very friendly person, and I'm always hugging everyone, even the homeless. I knew it's something that would be an issue in due time, and it's something I've been working on. We fought. He broke up, I went over to his house, we made up, and he apparently forgave me. Days later, he brought it up again and made me apologize for micro-cheating on him and being disloyal and that I betrayed his trust. I first explained that it can't be any form of cheating because we weren't official, though we would go on dates and stuff. In the beginning, he used to give slight hints of not wanting a relationship. But that's besides the point. Even then, I didn't want this person in the picture at all. I proceeded to apologize for the micro-cheating, the betrayal, and everything because it was getting exhausting. But later, it didn't sit right with me, and I told him I'm only apologizing for giving someone access to me like that because I know it isn't right. But I'm taking back every other part of my apology that says I acknowledge the micro-cheating or being disloyal. As much as I do realize that it hurt him, I don't think I owed him loyalty during the talking stage. I chose to be loyal to him in the time nonetheless because he was the only person I was talking to, but I don't believe I owed it to him. Now he's saying he can look past Now he's saying he can't look past it and can't view me the same. He can't get the mental picture of another guy on my boobs. He feels deeply hurt and doesn't understand how I feel I didn't owe him loyalty. My thinking is messed up. Please advise me. How do I handle this situation? AITA. I'm gonna call this one a mess again too. Because you take back parts of your apology. Is this kindergarten? You either do or you don't. If you didn't mean it, you shouldn't have said it in the moment. If you didn't feel like you micro-cheated, I don't think that's a thing. I think you either cheated or not. That's weird. But if you felt like you really cheated, okay, then you apologize for it. If you never felt like you cheated or did something wrong, then you don't apologize for it in the first place. If it's getting exhausting, you can just end the conversation. You don't apologize for something you didn't do to appease someone else to make the conversation end quietly. He's also wrong for a few things. He's wrong for deleting the picture. It was on your phone. That picture was your property. He did not have a right to delete it. And he's also wrong for basically forcing an apology out of you. It doesn't sound like you guys are necessarily communicating very well together, especially because there's like this stage when you guys were supposedly just talking. He seems to have expected loyalty, but apparently did not express that to you, that, he wanted you guys to exclusively be talking and hanging out with each other. What did she do? And you're not communicating well because you apologize for something you never felt like you did. just to shut him up, basically. This whole conversation was not productive. He was also wrong for acting like he forgave you for something and then bringing it up again and repeating that cycle. I don't like that behavior. Either talk it out and deal with it, or let it go and get over it, or hold a grudge and decide to be done. I don't think it's right to make someone feel comfortable again, make you feel like it's all over, it's all good, and then bring it back up and be like, no, I need another apology because you were disloyal when you owed me loyalty, even though I didn't say it out loud. I don't think it's ever right to be mad at someone for doing something you never asked them not to do, or for crossing a boundary you never set out loud. It seems like loyalty in the talking stage was his expectation, and that's a fair expectation. But it's not fair when you don't let the other person know that that's the expectation, because not everyone has the exact same values and ideals, where when you start talking to somebody, you're expecting that you guys are only talking to each other. So I don't think either of you is the asshole. I just think the situation is a whole big mess and was handled very poorly. Story number 3 is coming to us from r/Am I the Asshole? Would I be the asshole if I told my guests that it was awful having them stay over? And this post has already been judged by the Reddit community, and they judged it not the asshole. So let's see what we think. My fiance, 25 male, and I, 24 female, from Germany, had guests from the US for the last 10 days. Let's call them Tim, 27 male, and Tara, 24 female. I met Tim online during the pandemic. We bonded over talking about everything that was going on, our different experiences growing up, etc. We also talked about him visiting Germany since he had been wanting to come back. 5 years later, I am with my fiance and he has a girlfriend of 3 years. We are still talking regularly. My fiance and I just moved into a bigger place and decided to ask if they wanted to come visit. Everyone was stoked and we helped them book flights, work out an itinerary for their stay, and even includes a weekend in Paris, and try to make our apartment as comfortable as possible for their stay. They want to sleep in different beds, which makes everything complicated, but we manage. At this point, I have never talked to Tara and tried to reach out. She misses our first call, but it works out a week before they fly in, and I try to get to know her. We pick them up on Thursday. The airport is an hour from where we live, and it's 6 a.m. Everyone is tired. We get to our place, show them around, show them their beds made and ready with towels and some goodies. They don't thank us. I think it's because they had a long flight and let them unpack. We go out grocery shopping and try to get everything they want. There's a discussion about how awful it is that there are no public bathrooms available everywhere because Tim has to pee 10 minutes after we leave the apartment. It's awkward, conversation is slow, I think it's jet lag. We leave for Paris Friday morning. I organized the trip and didn't get any input from them. Paris is okay, they don't talk a lot, don't give their opinion, I'm at a loss. We get back, no thanks. We spend Monday separately and wanted to spend the evening together. They arrive 45 minutes late without telling us. The next day, we drive them an hour to my parents so they can pick up the car that my parents loaned them for a couple of days. They leave, we get one message a day. Saturday is our engagement party. They don't bring a gift or card. They don't even congratulate us. Sunday night, Tim and Tara ask us if we'll be driving them back to the airport. I ask them if it would be okay if they took a bus back. They are okay with it. I have to book it for them. We bring them to the bus stop Tuesday morning, say goodbye, and still not one thanks or criticism or anything. No thanking is one thing. The other is budget. Told me they are on a strict budget. I tried to keep the cost at minimal. They proceeded to buy souvenirs like model guns for hundreds of euros. I just feel very used. Would I be the asshole if I said something? Is there something I'm not seeing? I tried to get their thoughts and opinions every step of the way, and they didn't say anything. Normally, everyone loves the way we host. Personally, I've always been a fan of open communication, but maybe this is normal and can be put under cultural differences. I don't want to be rude. Edit for grammar. OP, you are not the asshole. So far from it. You are right. Ashley, you've probably been too nice. This is not a cultural difference. You said they're from the US. they're just rude. The fact that they never thanked you for anything, that you showed them their room, like there were goodies left for them, they didn't say thank you. Not one step of the way, it seems like they thanked you for anything. You drove an hour to go get them from the airport. You took your time to plan everything. You even had to rework your house so they could sleep in separate beds like they wanted. You went above and beyond for them, out of your way. I'm not surprised everyone else loves your hosting style because you sound like an amazing host. I think Tim and Tara are just rude. And I know a lot of people from other countries will say, oh, rude Americans. They're just, not all Americans are rude, but Tim and Tara are. Yeah. It seems like the only time there was open communication was when they asked if you were going to take them back to the airport. And you asked them to take a bus instead. And they're like, yeah, okay, but you need to put in more work still yet and book it for us because we are incapable of handling any of this ourselves. And I mean, I get it. The first time I had to take a flight as an adult, I did get help with it because I was scared to do the wrong thing because I'd never done it before. So I get asking for help, but just asking you to do it yourself, it doesn't sound like they put any effort into this. You should feel used. It does sound like they took advantage of you in the situation that you enabled them to be in. So you are right, and I'm sorry that your visit with these friends that you kind of waited on this visit for so long went so badly. I don't think I would bother to say anything because this just sounds like who they are, and I don't think saying anything is going to make a difference. I think the visit that just happened probably set the tone for the rest of the relationship, which may not be a very long-lasting friendship relationship after this point because they kind of used you. So I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that it went so badly, but you are not wrong. You are a great host. Story number 4 is coming to us from r/AITA_relationships. AITA for possibly leading a guy on because I needed a dance partner. AITA for possibly leading a guy on because I needed a dance partner. I started talking to this guy because I wanted something, and now he's emotionally attached to me. I don't know what to do. Long story short, I go to an all-girls school, and I don't know any guys. An event came up where it was mandatory I find a male dance partner. After being pressured to find a partner, I asked my friend to suggest someone I could talk to who seemed relatively well-rounded. She suggested this smart guy in her class, gave me his Instagram, and I followed him. We started talking, but I didn't go into it with the intention of it being a romantic thing. I didn't explicitly explain my intentions to him, and I might have said some things that misled him to believe that I was reaching out romantically. After a week of talking, the host of the event found me a dance partner and already registered their name into the invitations. Now this guy repeatedly reaches out to me despite me seeming distant, and I feel like he's coming up with opportunities to try to see me. Because I was desperate to find a dance partner and quickly, I was overly friendly and might have accidentally alluded to me being attracted to him. I never thought that the host would find me a partner, so I never considered not having an opportunity to explain to this guy that this was my intention. I do want to make it clear that I haven't told him that I texted him because I wanted to ask him to be my dance partner yet. And now that the host of the party covered that for me, I don't know how to bring it up. Overall, I think he's emotionally invested in me, and I don't know how to break it to him. Okay, so from the sound of this, it sounds like you really are not interested in a romantic relationship at all, which is fine, but I do think you're wrong. I do think you're the asshole in this situation because if all you wanted was a dance partner, I feel like that should have been where the conversation started. You follow him on Instagram, you send him a DM, you say, hey, I'm friends with so-and-so. I really need a dance partner for this upcoming event at short notice, but my friend recommended you. Would you be willing to spend some time with me and be my dance partner for this event? That should have been where it started. By not starting there, you did mislead him. You did. And maybe it wasn't his intention, but based on the way that you approached it, it makes sense that he took it that way. That he took it that you were interested in a romantic relationship. Because to this point, you have never told him the actual reason that you contacted him, and without explicitly stating a reason, it leaves it open for him to believe, oh, she just might like me. It makes sense. You're wrong. Just come out, be a grown-up, and tell him. Just tell him, hey, this is what happened. My friend recommended that you might be able to be a good dance partner for me. So that's why I reached out. But the host of the event already found me a partner. That was all I needed. Sorry, it didn't work out. Something like that. Just be straightforward, but don't be brutal. Because you've already been pretty harsh to him by misleading him like this. So, you're wrong. You handled this poorly. Just be upfront next time. And this post was from 27 minutes ago. And there's only one comment on it, and it says, yes, you're the asshole. Manipulation is no bueno. I agree entirely. You manipulated him. All right, that is 4 stories for this week's episode of Was I in the Wrong? That is us done for the day. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to leave me a comment with your thoughts on the video. And I will see you next time for another episode of the Misty Morrison Podcast. Thanks for being here. Bye.